Hello peeps, this is a hillbilly halfwit, and somebody asked me to tell you a funny story, and I thought, after my rant this morning, I thought, yes, what a good idea. And well, the one I thought about that came to my head was when me and my cousin and another mate of mine used to go down to Cardiff all the time to watch the rugby. And we didn't always used to go into the stadium. Lots of the time we used to stay in the pubs outside the stadium and watch the match and just have a good old laugh. And I'm sure my mate won't mind me telling this. I won't mention his name, but at the time, later on in it, you'll understand why. One of his relatives had died, and I'm laughing about it now because it was absolutely hilarious. Not about the person that died, but the situation we were in. So he will smile when he hears about it. But anyway, we went there 3 times, and we drove down there in the first couple of times in my mate's van, I think it was, yeah. Or was that the last time? But we drove down there, and we used to just park randomly anywhere. We parked one time up on the verge by a set of traffic lights on the grass. I swear to God, and we never got a ticket. And another time we went there, I parked outside the police station where they park the buses and never had a ticket. God knows how, it's just luck, I don't know why. And another time we went there in a car that I had, and on the way there towards Brecon, the gear lever come off the bottom underneath the car, and we managed to get it into 4th gear, and I had to drive all the way to Brecon in 4th gear, and going up that hill and everything, and going into these roundabouts, because we were staying in a place called Taffswell then, in a pub. And when we got this thing into gear, we hadn't even got to Brecon. So when we were going down going into roundabouts, we were having to keep our speed up so we could get round a roundabout and up these hills. It was like Mad Max. It was nuts. We hadn't had a drink or anything at all by then, by the way. It was driving to there. But we got there, and then we caught a train to the stadium. And then we would get back then. We actually had a hell of a job to get back this one night, because we couldn't get a taxi. We started walking back to this place, and the taxis won't only pick you up in certain areas. So, it was a nightmare to get back. We got back there, and when we got back to this place we were staying, the boys started drinking, and I got to be honest with you, I'd had enough. And I said, I'm going to have to go to sleep somewhere. And what had happened was they'd only booked one room. So the guy who owned the pub, fair play to him, let me stay on the settee upstairs in his living room. So I went upstairs and went to sleep, never saw nothing about me till the morning. Now, these lads, unbeknown to me, my cousin and my friend, just kept drinking down there all the night, and there were some people staying in the pub who reckon they were some hell of a drinkers or something or other, and he'd give them a tune in over the night drinking, I should think. So next morning, I went downstairs, and I was waiting by the bar with my mate and my cousin, and first thing my mate did was buy a pint of Guinness in the morning. And then one of the guys that had been drinking with him last night came walking down the stairs looking really rough. And as soon as he saw my friend drinking a pint of Guinness like this, he turned around and went back up the stairs, and he said, I don't want anything to do with this. So they tuned him in so much serious. But anyway, we had a good fun. And that time we got home again in 4th gear again. Unbelievable. Crappy car, that was a Peugeot. Crappy thing. But anyway, the one I want to talk about is we went there on another occasion. And I think it was Gavin Henson who done this massive kick and won the game. And we were having a time of our lives there. It was mad. Absolutely mad in Cardiff. They were singing, "This is the way to Amarillo," all the way down the main street. It was brilliant. Probably one of the best nights I ever had in Cardiff. And this was getting on late at night. And there was an old bar we used to go to down the bottom there. There's an Irish bar, and then the opposite side of the street, there was another bar which used to play 70s music. It was fantastic, and I love dancing. I'm not afraid to admit, when I get wrecked, I absolutely love to dance like a lunatic. So we're in this 70s bar, the three of us there, and it was loud, and I went off doing my thing, dancing on my own. I always do it. And I came back, and my cousin was there, and he pulled me to the side. He said, your mate's sister has phoned me, and she said, can you get brother on the phone because there's a problem at home? So he went, I said, well, you better tell him, Mike. And he was twisted by now, and he does get very argumentative over beer, very argumentative, a bit of a handful, like. So my cousin went to him and he said, oh, look, your sister's phoned, you need to call her back. And all he would say, my friend would say, no, she doesn't. I'm not calling her back. Anyway, he came back to me, he said, he's taking no notice whatsoever. And his sister just kept calling him. My mate was having to go outside, my cousin, sorry, talk to her all the time. He said, I've had a guts full of this. He said, what is wrong? What's the problem? I can tell him. And she said, his uncle has died. And, oh, God. So he went back in now. He came over to me and he said, well, his uncle has died. Well, yeah, I said I knew he was very, very ill. He's been ill for quite a while. But I got to be honest, I don't think we should tell him till tomorrow. But hey, she kept calling, had to tell him. So in the end, he was getting very argumentative now when we said you should phone your sister back. And we had given him the phone and everything, and he wouldn't. Well, no. He was going. In the end, my cousin goes, listen, I just been talking to your sister, and your uncle is brown bread. He is as dead as a dodo. Kaput. He's gone. He ain't near no more, nowhere. He's had it. And when he said that, I was like, I couldn't believe he said it so abruptly, but he'd lost it. He'd completely lost it. He had enough of going outside phoning and everything. So then, my mate then went totally opposite. Oh, he started going off on one then. We're going to have to go home. And I'm like, three of us are wrecked. I parked my, at that time, I had a Subaru Legacy estate. And we parked it in a multi-storey car park. And we were going to go back to sleep in it. In the back, like, until the next day. I remember this is quite a long time ago now. So things were different back then. So don't judge me about it. So anyway, he went on and on. Oh, he wanted to fight everybody and this and that. They were arguing. We got to go home. I said, I can't go home. I can hardly walk in a straight line. How on earth can I drive from Cardiff back home? You got to stick it out till tomorrow. And I said, well, I didn't want him to tell you. So, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we stayed there. They argued like hell. I just went off and had a dance again. And this place was closing now. So opposite this place, there was an Irish bar. And it was raining so hard. It was coming down sideways and it was stinging your face. So this place we'd just been in was closing. And there was a queue outside this Irish bar. So we went onto this queue. And instead of going back to the car, why don't we go in here? So luckily enough, we were not too far off the front of the queue. And the guy said, you can come in here for £3 each. And you can stay in here for a good few hours drinking. But you're the last three coming in. Yeah, grand job. Do you think my mate would come in? He would not come in. He'd gone so awkward over all this thing. He would not come. He stayed outside in the pissing rain, getting soaked. And we tried our best to get him. He wouldn't come in. I said, right. Stay out there. I don't care. I've had enough now. So me and my cousin went inside. We got in there. We were drinking like fools in there again. And I don't know what time it was when we went out of there. My friend had gone. I said, I'm not looking for him now. I told him to go back to the car, and that's it. He knew where the multi-storey car park was. We went back to the car and got into the vehicle. No sign of him. We looked all around, couldn't find him anywhere. I said, that's it. I'm going to sleep, and that's the end of it. So me and my cousin went to sleep. And early in the morning, the car door opened, and in my friend gets, and nothing was said. I thought, at least he's here. So next morning now, when we woke up, I'm there. Look, we're going to have to wait here for a while because I've had quite a bit of drink last, so I have to wait till at least 12 o'clock before I'll be able to drive tidy. Remember, don't judge me. This was a long time ago. Everybody used to do it back then. So this is what we did, and waited around for a bit in the car and everything, and then I just felt okay then after a while. So we went back driving quietly, and on the way back there was this place we always used to stop to have a burger and a cup of coffee. So we pulled into this lay-by, and I parked up the car. 3 of us got out, and we started walking towards this burger van, and my mate had got no shoes or socks on. So I said, where's your shoes and socks? He said, they were stolen off me last night by a tramp. I said, what? He said, when I came back to the multi-storey car park, I went to the wrong level and I fell asleep in the corner against the concrete. And he said, some tramp came along and he nicked my shoes and socks. So he nicked my shoes. He didn't have socks on. I said, you let him nick your shoes? He said, yeah. He said, he nicked my shoes. And, well, I said, that is random. What kind of a person nicks your shoes? And he goes, that's the second time that's happened to me. I said, what? That's actually happened to you twice. I've never heard of anybody else having their shoes nicked off them by anybody ever in my life. But it has happened to him twice. So we had a cracking good laugh about that. Obviously sad about his uncle and everything. But that was some time we used to have down there. And on top of all that, the same mate that lost his shoes, we were in the rugby one turn, and we were right down the front, and we had much as we could do to stop him stripping off and running across the pitch to streak. We had a hell of a job. He's as mad as a hatter. So I hope that's cheered you up after the one this morning when I went on a rant. Please comment, rate and subscribe. And remember, this was years ago. I was pretty wild. So that's, at least we had fun. I don't regret anything we did because we were always used to have a bit of fun. Ta-da.